at the end of the year, holiday season, and you want to feel connected, and there's so many memories tied to giving and receiving things. And
Mm-hmm.
yet, this is a year that a lot of people aren't in a position to do that. So it creates this tug of war, and I think there's a lot of people out there that are struggling, kind of that self worth versus net worth.
As I was thinking about this conversation that we were going to have today, I was reflecting on how when I feel powerless, or when people in general feel powerless, there can be an instinct to seek something outside of yourself to feel in control and to feel whole. And I've found that the truth is that none of those external things have ever brought me back to balance. What about you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're right. When we don't feel good, a lot of times we're looking for a quick feel good, and so we'll do things that will, feed that pleasure part of our brain and create those happy hormones. And that can be achieved by perhaps eating some delicious food, maybe drinking. But it can also be achieved by things of exercise or physical touch, and so some of those, I think, this is a time of year, and this has been the year to for all of us that to remember. And I think there's probably a lot of people hurting out there and seeking unhealthy patterns to try to escape and feel good, which then can lead down a path of some tough times.
This time of year, or whenever there's financial turbulence, and that is to stop comparing yourself to others. And I've run into this in my own life. I think, Sarah, we've talked about this before, where for the first time, my kid went to school and I didn't sign her up for pizza, and she didn't get pizza. And I thought to myself, and she was really sad about it. She's 5. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, this is the beginning of what we're doing in our household and what other folks are doing in their households, and kind of wanting to keep up for my kids in a way that I haven't really done with myself. But I think just this time of year, when there's so much gift giving and pressure around that, to stop comparing yourself to others, your family to others. What do you think is really important to kind of center on?
Well, I agree. If you can get close to yourself and your own values and not try to compare yourself with others, but I think it's so much in our culture to want to keep up with the Joneses, and I too wonder, like, how many Teslas are born or bought with taking out a loan versus saving up. A Tesla's a great car, but it's certainly, the price point is more expensive than other alternatives. And to your point with your daughter and the pizza, it starts at a very young age, and it's there's a lot of nature in there, right? If someone else has a piece of pizza, you're like, wait a minute, why didn't my mom get me a piece of pizza?
Right.
I think people need to remember, wherever you go, there you are. So if you're having problems with wanting to keep up with the Joneses, or feeling that you're not enough because of your physical things, it's a good opportunity to check in. I think gratitude is one of the best things I think people can practice, because to be in gratitude, you have to be in the moment. And this time of year, there's so much to be thankful for. There's a lot of beauty that comes out of going through a difficult chapter. I believe challenges don't necessarily build character, but they reveal character. And I think the real building is as the recovery coming out of a difficult period.
Yeah, I love that sentiment. And some other thoughts that I had about just some grounding practices that we all can do throughout our day. One, talk to yourself the way that you would a very good friend. I think so often, especially I find with, other women that I'm close with, your biggest critic can be yourself. And you have the ability to learn to think and speak to yourself, your inner dialogue, a different way. You don't have to keep going that way. And I think that can go a really long way. And I also think coming into allowing yourself to make mistakes and to learn, accepting your strengths and weaknesses, and it all comes back to this idea of self-compassion.
I think that's so important. You're right, because mistakes are really opportunities to learn. I mean, that's how we get better and figure out what works and doesn't work. And if you're going to live life scared, that's you're keeping yourself small. Another practice I like. Do you ever do breathing exercises? Yeah, it's a great way to get to a place of relaxation, circular breathing, where you can breathe in slowly for 6 counts, hold it for 6 counts, and then breathe out for 6 counts and hold it. To do that systematically really is connects with your inner core and can help ground you if you're feeling stressed. So I think, Katie, as we think of what we can share with our viewers, one of the sentiments I want to share is I want people to consider giving an act of service to someone else in their life this season, and something that doesn't require an investment of money, but more of their time and their kindness.
I could not agree more. I think an orientation of being of service to others is one of the best ways to get out of self if you're in self in a negative way, and to get into your worthiness and the worthiness of others. I completely agree. And this has been such a pleasure.
As always, thank you so much.